I get this question sometimes, and I really like this question. And I always answer it like very simple answer. And the question is, how do you price your art? Because my prices are crazy sometimes. My prices are really high. And that I did that on purpose because I wanted uh I wanted to add value to myself. I wanted my first painting I ever sold was a painting I did in a sketchbook. And it was a painting on a piece of paper, and I sold it for $30. And to me, at the time, $30 for a piece of paper was ridiculous, right? And that's why I priced it like that, because I liked this piece, I wanted to keep it, and I was like, man, fuck it. If they really want it, they'll pay $30 for it. But if not, like, I would love to have this piece. Sure enough, they bought. I put it in the gallery and it sold. Um, and that piece I actually priced 33, right? $33. And it was a piece of paper. And the reason why I chose 33 is because like the whole Masonic, I was like kind of fucking around, right? But sure enough, they wrote a check for $33, and I got that. Okay, but let's say uncalculated. Sometimes you're just uncalculated art. And the reason why I'm calling it uncalculated art, because sometimes inspiration just hits you, right? You're just inspired. So I don't have a painting of a oil spill, or like a Texas oil spill, but I'm gonna use that as an example because that's pretty close to um, it's pretty close to something I've done before. So let's say I'm watching the news and an oil spill happened in Texas, in Houston, Texas, or I'm watching a documentary on an oil spill that happened in Houston, Texas, and that oil spill inspired a painting. So I just work. I have the materials. I have extra canvas. Um, I like no. I don't have to put any money up after the idea of the painting, right? I had the idea, I had the materials, I did the painting, and I do my research on this oil spill, right? And at the end of my research, or at the end of watching the documentary, or at the end of watching the news, I find out it cost 4 million to clean up this oil spill. So oil spill happens. It inspired a piece of art of mine. It costs 4 million to clean up the oil spill. It's gonna cost 4 million for my piece. Now this is the price of my art piece because of the damage of the oil spill. That's how much it's gonna cost, right? But another thing I do is I call it the love multiplier. How much do I love this piece, right? If you know me, I always ask the question 1 out of 10. So you tell me, oh, there's this new movie that just came out. It's such a great movie. Da 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 da. And I'll ask you, how do you like it from 1 to 10? And if you tell me anything from 5 up, I'll usually go, right? So, oh, there's this new restaurant. I think you'll like it. Okay, well, what do you rank it 1 to 10? Oh, 4. I probably won't go. Now, with the art, let's say I finished this oil spill painting, and it's just not how I wanted it to turn out. And I from a 1 to 10, I like it at a 1, so that painting will stay at 4 million. But if I absolutely love this painting, it's perfect. Everything came out the way I wanted to. Let's not. I won't use the word perfect, but let's just say it's how I wanted it to turn out, and I rank it. I love it at a 10, right? So now this 4 million piece, after the love multiplier, is a 40 million piece. Oh, 40 mil. Right, and why? Why is it 4 mil? Because that's how much it cost for the oil spill, right? That's why my piece is 4 million. Now, why 40 million? Because I love it at a 10. So I multiplied it by 10. Now that's just like, that's the uncalculated art, right? That's just the random inspiration. That's, sometimes I'll have this piece and or sometimes I'll have a number and that's what that's what I'll go off of, right? And that's usually how I get my huge price pieces, right? You're like, damn, that piece is ridiculously priced. And it's just like, yeah, but, it's just like, it's only ridiculously priced to you because you can't afford it, there's someone buying $100 million painting right now as you're watching this video, and it's not ridiculous to them. Some people, usually wealthier people, understand that art is it's an asset. It could be an asset. But let's say I have a calculated piece, right? And calculated. All right, and what I mean by calculated art is from my sketchbook, I knew, like, I had a sketch in there or something, or I've been working on something and I know I want this to be a painting. It's not like it's not random, it's very calculated, right? My painting is calculated, so I want the pricing to be calculated. And like, it's hard to explain calculated, like, oh, how do you calculate a painting? But me personally, like, I'll do math equations when it comes to my art. I'll do a bunch of research. I'll buy a couple books on the subject before I start, just I need that reference. I need those variables for my art. So this is the calculated art. So let's say I bought a four canvas set. 4 canvases for $50. Brushes. I bought brushes for 15. Brought paint for 15. And then let's say I bought a book. I bought a book on the subject I'm about to paint, and that cost $20. So if we look at the numbers, we're at 100, right? So if we add the 4 canvases, the brush, paint, book, we're at $100, right? So minimum for a painting is gonna be $100. Now that's before the love multiplier, right? The 1 to 10. How much do I love the piece? After that, then I'll get my new price. Okay, but you might be saying, Chris, you got 4 canvases. You got extra paint. You could reuse your brushes. You could always, use your book. Each of these canvases is gonna be $100 minimum. Anytime you sell a piece, it should, whether it's this price or this price, it should be able to fund projects. Future projects, at least. So yeah, it costs $100 for all this material, but you're gonna multiply it by 4 because you have 4 canvases. So this little $100 investment can, that's what's beautiful about art. This $100 investment can turn into $40,000, and that's why. And that's why I'm weird with the way I price. Can't nobody tell this shit, man. This is our economy, we get to play with these numbers.